Hello and welcome to the show. Today, what do we women want from you men? Sensitive, domesticated house husbands, alpha males who play rugby and bring home the bacon? It seems we're giving out mixed signals and men are downright confused. Self-confessed alpha male broadcaster John Gordon says feminism has left men surplus to requirements. But Lucy Cavendish says, who needs men now? Women can do everything for ourselves. Also joining me, Michelle Gale. Lovely to have you here. Highly independent woman. How long have you been earning your own living for yourself?
Since I was 14, so that's a long time, maybe 26 years.
And yet you're about to get married, so you do feel you need a man in your life.
Getting married again? You're dipping my toes in one more time.
She's brave, isn't she? Brave. And as ever, Ben's here with us. Sofa Surfers, do introduce us.
Yes, Vanessa. Joining me on the sofa today is lovely Lexi and Glenys. They'll be saying a lot later on.
Now, celebrities are suckers for tattoos. David Beckham's got a new one. Cher Lloyd has 8 of them. And now Cheryl Cole's got one all over her beautiful back. Tattoos date as far back as 3,300 BC, where they were traditionally used by tribes as a method of identification. But are celebrities setting a bad example? Just imagine your daughter comes home from school. She tells you she wants a skull etched all over her arm because her favourite celebrity's got one. Would you allow it? Well, I'm joined by tattoo artist Reid from Skunx. He's been tattooing now for nearly 25 years. Hello, sir.
How are you doing?
I'm all right. I mean, do you think celebrities are somehow cheapening the tattoo? Instead of being a special thing, a significant thing, it's any old thing?
I think the celebrity is special to the celebrity. But what you've got to remember is the celebrity is an individual as well. They have a right to make something on their skin that they would like. Obviously, with the media process and everything else nowadays, everyone gets to see it. I think as long as you get something that's individual to yourself, then it's a good idea. You know, it's just showing your individuality.
But is it individual if you just copy someone you've seen on the telly or someone you've seen in Heat magazine?
No, that's not what tattoos shouldn't be about, and the culture nowadays has brought that a little bit more to the forefront. It's more about, you should think about something and get it for yourself. So that means not copying someone.
What first drew you to the idea of being tattooed and tattooing other people?
When I was young, I was around groups of people that had tattoos, like bikers, like football clubs. And basically, I got drawn into it. And once I got the first one, there was, like, no going back.
I mean, I can see all over your arms are tattoos, most of your neck too. Presumably you do draw the line and literally that's the line, just under your chin.
I think a face tattoo is slightly... I think it's not about yourself then, it's about actually portraying something that probably isn't you to somebody else. You know, it can be looked at, children can be scared by it. I think there's a line to be had. It's about expressing you. And I think your face, because it's obviously where you connect when you talk to people, it really should be kept clean so basically people can actually see you.
Underneath the clothing, are there any tattoo-free areas, or do you have tattoos even where the sun don't shine?
No, I don't have any there. I only have painful areas left, so they'll probably just stay where they are.
All right, let me bring Lucy Cavendish in on this. I mean, this gentleman would say this is individuality, this is, I suppose, a kind of spontaneity. It's making a kind of statement. You're not impressed, though, are you?
Oh, I wish I was. He does what he does for a job, and that's great. But personally, I have to say, I do find it quite difficult. And if one of my children came home with a tattoo, I would be genuinely really shocked, because I think it's a very difficult decision to make, to have one. I think they do copy what celebrities are doing. I think, you know, you can't rub it out. Why not just get a temporary one and see what you think? And I have friends that go out and they get them and they're just in the wrong place and they're just awful and they look kind of naff, and I see someone, sorry to be personal, but if I saw you walking towards me, I'd hide. I mean, I'd probably find it quite scary. But I'm glad you haven't got a cobweb, because that really would make me go away, very scary man.
I think the thing is, what you've got to remember is, you have to be 18 to get tattooed. You couldn't be tattooed under 18, so it doesn't, the reference with children, it doesn't happen. I think that it's, you know, it's just a sign of yourself. I think that, you know, you can't judge a book by a cover. And I think I'm really glad that you have an opinion that's opposite to mine, because otherwise we're all individuals. You know, if everyone liked tattoos, we'd all have the same tattoos, we'd all have 3 stars, and that would be the end of it. But
let me just ask, I mean, there was a time when the idea of getting a tattoo was rebellious. It was kind of exciting, it was forbidden, it was shocking. Only convicts, sailors, bikers, certain sects had tattoos. And if you ventured into that tattooing territory, you knew you were going to infuriate your parents. You know, you knew that some people were going to find it titillating and exciting. It was a big deal. That was a long, long time ago. I mean, now we know virtually everyone's got one. Angelina Jolie's got a whole lot. Sam Cam, the Prime Minister's wife, has got one. I mean, how much more conformist and conventional can you be? It's almost more rebellious now not to have a tattoo.
Ozzy Osbourne said that to Kelly. If you want to be different, don't have one. And it's true. It has been watered down, the concept of it and where it comes from. But saying that, it doesn't mean the art itself has actually got a lot better. The tattoos that are being done now, they're works of art. Whereas 20 years ago when I started tattooing, there weren't works of art being done.
Now, let's bring Michelle in on this. I don't know whether you're tattooed or not.
No, I don't have any, simply because I change my mind all the time. And then also, like you were saying, it's a sign of yourself. But it's a sign of yourself at a certain point. So I'm not going to walk around in a puffball skirt now, am I? No. Like, those days are gone. So I don't want something that's going to date me or age me. I always think when you're 70 or 80... and your grandchild's pointing at you going, what is that?
What's that rose with up your arm?
It's so late, you know, it's just so out of date. So I'd rather not date myself, to be honest with you. Because there was a time when everyone had tribal bands and you can actually know, well, that's 90s. Yeah. It came out in the 90s. You know, it dates you to me, so... really not interested.
I always think, you know, if Picasso were living at this hour, if Renoir were around, if Rembrandt was here, and it would be a work of the most exquisite art and excellence, even then I wouldn't be sure that I would want to commit to it. But somebody at the end of a pier wielding this kind of thing who wants to do some kind of half-baked doodle on my skin that I've then got to carry around forever, that I really don't want. Let's bring Ben in on this one.
Yeah, no, it's funny. When I was younger, it was one of the things I didn't think I had to worry about. You know, I didn't have to worry about a suntan, and I didn't have to worry about tattoos. And then in the 90s, there was an R&B band that kind of brought in tattoos and made them quite popular for black people, a band called Jodeci. And then loads of black guys started getting tattoos and stuff. And what I think about it now is everyone has one, and it is a lot better nowadays. It makes me a lot more individual not to have one. So, I mean, I'm kind of in agreement with you, Michelle. You know, it's just like, to have one is like everyone's got one now. And you're right about being dated. You don't want one that says, yeah, 1992, this is, you know, this was like 1984, you know, that kind of thing.
I wouldn't like you to have Beryl or something tattooed across your chest. I find that terribly upsetting.
You know, what about when you... And there's always that messy thing when you have the partner that you're with. You have someone else's name and then you have to cover it over and then you write it again and they do it again. Terrible.
Let's just quickly ask Nick about this. So someone has, you know, Philip all over their hand or, you know, Andrew all the way up there and then actually they fall out of love and move on. What happens? You have to turn it into something that says mum or something? What do you do?
We do cover-ups, but I think it all comes down to actually the thought process before you actually get there. It's all, yes, you can regret anything in your life, but then again, we can't live by hindsight, so it's a bit of a pointless procedure. The fact, as long as you think about it properly when you walk into the studio, you know, names, you know, if you're marrying someone, get their name, because hopefully the marriage will be forever, their name should be forever. You know,
if you know their name if you're marrying them. What do you need to have it on your own?
Yeah. Well, we actually have their own name.
Oh, no, that's ridiculous.
Yes.
Yeah.
Do people have their own name?
Yeah. I asked them how drunk they
Hello,
get.
Kylie.
Well, I haven't had Vanessa and just have Vanessa on my... just to check what my...
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, I said, why don't you have a phone number? Why don't you have your address? If found, please deliver to. You know.
Is there anything you refuse to do?
Anything anti-Semitic, anything that would actually cause offence to someone else just by the presence of it. Yeah, tattoos aren't about causing offence. They're about a self-interpretation of something you're saying about yourself. And I don't think anything like that is worth being tattooed.
So you would say, no, I won't do it?
Yeah, I definitely just wouldn't do it.
And swear words, for example?
No, I think that swear words can be quite lively and sort of fun.
And it's true you've got to broadcast now with one arm under the table
that
because
is
you've
true,
got a rude word all over it.
I do indeed, yes.
Out of interest, what prompted you to go and have a four-letter word tattooed on your hand? Obviously, you know that word.
I actually did it myself. I think it's a long story. There's a guy called Reid, and it was a connection with that. And it was more for the humour of it. It's not to actually offend anyone.
Yes.
And it isn't actually written to offend anyone. It's just a question of, you know, I think sometimes in life things are way too serious.
I just think you're shaking hands with someone's grandma and there's that word, you're sitting there in church, it's there on there, you're meeting the bank manager, you've got it there on your hand. Do you ever regret it?
No, I don't regret anything. I think, you know, I've learned from it.
I mean, is it still funny? I mean, looking there...
I laugh at it every day.
You still like it?
Oh, every day I laugh
still
at it.
Still tickles you. OK, well, that's good. Ask yours, Sophie.
Just another thing I want to say, that in entertainment, it kind of limits the work you get. And Matt Willis on this show, I asked him during the ad break, and I said, if you knew you were going to be doing theatre, would you have had so many tats? And he went, no, of course not. Now I'm doing theatre, now I'm out of busted, now I'm out of that situation. I've got all these tats and it limits the amount of work I can get and the roles I can play. So that's another thing. Lexi, what do you think?
I don't like them personally. I remember when the Spice Girls were all out and Sporty Spice had her band, and I remember going to get a fake band, and within 3 days I'm kind of going, oh my God, what am I going to look like when I get married?
Yeah.
But it's right that people do stereotype guys, girls with tattoos. You never see a judge with a tattoo, a lawyer, a surgeon.
I bet, hang on, Nick makes to differ though.
I've done judges.
Oh, judges, lawyers?
Lawyers, MPs.
Have you?
Yeah.
But in full view of where it can be seen, or just nicely so it can be covered up with the shirt?
Specific, yeah, it's obviously they're thinking of that about what they do for a living. So obviously it's for them, it's a personal thing for them. So
For
they
the
cover
judge, you
it up.
put guilty on one hand and not guilty on the other. Just save time. Just easy. Just save time. Let's go on the telephone to Louis. Louis is David Beckham's personal tattooist. Louis Malloy. Hi, Louis. Morning. Afternoon. How are you?
How are you? I'm fine, thank you.
Good, good. Tell me about David Beckham, because he, I mean, as many women will agree with me, is a living, breathing work of art with or without the tattoos, quite frankly.
Well, you know, David has had these pieces of work done over a period of, like, about 11, 12 years now, and he's never sort of just jumped in and got something done on a whim. There's always been thought put into it. And there's a couple of the pieces of work that I've done on him that I actually advised him against having done. The one on the back of his neck being one of them.
Well, what is the tattoo on the back of his neck? What's the picture supposed to be?
It's a cross with a pair of wings behind it.
And why did you say don't, Louis?
Because the thing is, I always advise clients to have tattoo in a place where they can cover or show it at their discretion. And if it's on like the hand, face, neck, it's usually permanently exposed, and people do stereotype, and it can cause problems to the person. So you have to make people aware of this before they have it done, so that then they can make an informed decision.
So when you say to David, I don't think so, he says, Louis, go ahead and do it, what's the point he's making, do you think?
It's about his own individuality. You know, it's something that he wanted. I mean, that particular piece of work, it was from its initial conception to actually having it done, it was 18 months. So he did think long and hard about it. And at the end of the day, I did actually say to him, I said, well, it's not like you're going to have a problem if you finish your football, you've got to go down to the job centre, because we don't think that's going to happen. But at the same time, he did actually think about it, because, you know, he has got a media image that he has to think about. And when he did have it done, there was a bit of a storm in the press about it, but it soon blew over, because some parts of the media were making out like because he had that tattoo, then it made him like some kind of a thug. But we all know that that isn't true. So that was a classic example of don't judge a book by its cover.
Meanwhile, Louis, you've experienced an influx of young ladies saying, give us the Cheryl, haven't you? The Cheryl Cole, and she's a great big tattoo all over her back.
Well, I think where Cheryl Cole's concerned, I mean, you know, it's up to the girl what she wants to have done, but I think she had a tattoo done on the back of her hand that then caused an influx of, like, girls wanting the same sort of thing, and I just refused point blank to do them, because in my own opinion, I don't think there's anybody who will get something like that done that will not regret it, because it's just one of those sort of things. Most people were doing it on a whim, and I think it's an absolutely crazy thing to do.
Do you think Cheryl herself regrets it now she's gone terribly pucker on American X Factor or Pop Idol or whatever she's on over there? Do you think she's going to... Yeah, X Factor, do you think she's going to wish she hadn't had it done?
I think there will come a point when she will regret it, yes.
Louis, thanks very much. I mean, do you agree? Did you get lots of girls saying, I'd like the Cheryl hand thing?
We get it all the time, and it's just literally no. The skin on the hand, it actually rejuvenates a lot quicker than any other part of your body. So the ink is never going to stay as strong as it should. So if it's not going to look good in 10 years, there's no point in getting it. It's just like they don't become Cheryl Cole by getting this tattoo. They don't
really?
Actually...
Because I was thinking once I heard of it, I thought maybe I should get one of those. I won't turn into Cheryl Cole.
Unfortunately, not. No,
that's a damn shame.
But people do get this impression. They think they become that Beckham. The amount of times people have the tattoos that he has done, and they don't do them as well as Louis does them. And the problem is they don't become David Beckham by getting these tattoos. You know, they're a person that has David Beckham tattoos, which is really against being an individual.
Is it appropriate to try and persuade Ben to have the Vanessa show tattooed on his left buttock? Shall we try?
Well,
Shall I bring some pressure to bear?
Well, I actually think if his heart was in the right place, he would have that done.
If your heart was in the right place, you'd have Vanessa on your bottom. All right, thanks so much to Nick. Lovely to meet you, and to our caller, Louis Malloy. Lucy and Michelle Gale will be